Day to be alive. I'm actually alive and I'm actually very, very happy. And trust me, on the evening rush, we have quite a lot to discuss. First of all, if you are joining us for the very first time, this is the evening rush where we discuss issues across Nigeria's socio-economic and political landscape. And obviously, we get analysts to join us right here in the studio, sometimes via the telephone or even virtually, where in some of those applications, they get to give us their purview about issues within Nigeria's polity. And sometimes even outside the shores of Nigeria, especially with how those events could affect our economy or our socio-economic dynamic lifestyle. So join us. We're actually streaming live on YouTube at VOP 903 FM on YouTube. You can actually subscribe to that particular channel to virtually join us and be part of the conversation. Sometimes during the conversation, we'll definitely open the phone lines where you get to respond to some of the issues that will be discussed on this platform. The first thing we're going to look into today is what is going on currently between Israel and Iran. So you know that the dust has not settled between Israel and Palestine, and now they're facing Iran. Well, the first one happened where they were able to bomb out most of their nuclear sites in Iran. Their scientists and their generals actually died in that particular bomb blast. And that was not the only thing. Iran has promised to retaliate. In fact, about 100 of their drones were actually sent over to Israel. And the Israeli authorities, as the IDF, actually spoke on that, saying that they're looking at how to intercept most of their drones. We're going to see this affect quite a lot of things. And one of that is the fact that Iran is one of the most successive and consistent producer or producer globally of oil, crude oil. How will this affect Nigeria's economy? What do we expect? Will it be a positive outcome for our economy, or is it going to be a negative outcome? We're going to look into that in the conversation this evening. Another thing to consider is the fact that Nnamdi Kanu appeared in court today. His trial continues. We discussed this during the World News at 6. We're going to talk about it as well again today, where the prosecution counsel presented a couple of audio tapes and videos, that is virtual videos, where Nnamdi Kanu made some remarks. Now, today they had to shift the case from the Federal High Court to the DSS headquarters, where the 25th container, where they were trying to bring out or show to the court the transmitter that Nnamdi Kanu supposedly, according to the DSS, illegally brought into the country, and the 20-foot container and a couple of other items. So the court proceeding held there, and eventually the court tendered the Radio Biafra transmitter in court. Today, it was an interesting thing. Quite a lot was said by the prosecuting witness that was brought to court to discuss further the case, and that some evidences were documented in court. That's 2. 3. Kenneth Okonkwo has spoken about the rifts between him and Peter Obi, whereby there was a particular broadcast. The interviewer asked Kenneth Okonkwo that maybe Peter Obi made a statement referring to the fact that he went through a couple of betrayals by close allies. And Kenneth Okonkwo, in responding to that, said that it was Peter Obi who betrayed him. We're going to actually listen to that in the course of the conversation. So I implore you to please join us, all right? We're going to be going in-depthly, analytically, and objectively into the conversation. Another thing we're also going to look into today as well, hopefully that there is time, is the fact that the speech made by the president yesterday, was the speech political or was it sincere? Well, we know that the president took a swipe at the opposition, and he actually decided to denounce some of the speculations that have been going on. He said he would not be somebody of a one-party system, but he's not going to help the opposition resolve anything. And then he called out some persons, supposed allies, who may in turn try to betray him. A couple of people made different references to the statements made. Now, some of the achievements reeled out by the president, is it true? Common Nigerians actually feeling the benefits of what the president said he's been able to achieve in the first 2 years? What about the ministers that actually are in certain positions? Are they doing the needful? And then some persons that were conferred, did they deserve it? A couple of persons were calling out Bayo Onanuga and the ethics law statement he made in 2023. But a couple of persons believe that Bayo Onanuga was part of the struggle for democracy, and so he ought to have been recognized. Well, we're going to be looking into that as well in the course of the conversation. My analyst today is Mr. Segun Shokpito, who obviously is a political, national, and social affairs commentator. Mr. Segun Shokpito, good evening and thank you for joining us.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much. So let's dive in. I'm expecting Mr. Lawal Ekundaya later in the conversation to join us. So while he's on his way, let's start off with you. What do you think about the situation with Israel and Iran? How would it affect Nigeria's economy?
The thing has been brewing for a while, so it's not really surprising. I think that there's been a lot of efforts on the part of especially the United States, Donald Trump, to try and prevent this from happening. But here we are. For Nigeria, funny enough, it's kind of mixed news. Because on the one hand, what it automatically does is, the price of crude. Anytime there is instability in the Middle East, then the price of crude will go up. So as we speak now, we're on $72 thereabouts per barrel.
Okay.
For WTI, and Brent is at 74. And Brent is the benchmark price that we use. Bonny Light is at 78. So we're tending towards $80, which is very good news from the federal revenue side of things.
Okay.
It means that the government will have more money to spend. The flip side, there's a flip side to that. And it's that because the price of PMS has been deregulated, and there's supposedly, and I think that's clear now, absolutely no subsidy. And so the price fluctuations that we've been seeing, all those price reductions from Dangote, has actually been because crude oil prices has been dropping. So now that it's going back up, depending on how long this increase is sustained, petrol prices will go back up. So we're likely to probably end up around 950 if this new surge in prices is sustained for
when
the
you say
next
950, that's
950 per liter.
Wow.
For PMS. Just a rough estimate, rough guess. Nobody can really say exactly how, but we were at about 950 when prices were around $80.
Yes.
So I think we'll just see also reverse back to that. But again, it depends on how long.
But that's not a positive outcome. Is that a positive outcome?
That's what I'm saying. So it's a two-edged sword. That's the negative side of things for citizens. But if you look at what's more important, the increase in crude oil prices should mean that government has more money to spend for citizens.
Okay.
Should mean. I don't know whether that is what will happen because, till now we're still asking where the subsidy savings are. So that's a different conversation. But just looking at it from simple economic analysis, every time crude oil prices go up, because that's our primary source of forex revenues.
Yes.
Which is the major source of revenues for our government, then it's good news for Nigeria.
So how is Israel able to cope with this? They're not yet done with Palestine. The dust hasn't settled. The rubbles are still very much there, very much potent. And right now, the U.S. has warned Iran not to retaliate on any of its citizens in their country or in any of their embassies. But Israel's military says that they would continue to strike the Iranian military targets. Obviously, the nuclear sites of Isfahan and Natanz. They carried out waves of airstrikes last night. I don't even know if the Iranian authorities knew about this. It was almost like it was a covert activity. And the IDF said Revolutionary Guard Chief Hossein Salami and other commanders were killed in that particular air raid last night. Meanwhile, Iran has reported that 6 of their scientists have been killed, but they would continue with whatever it is that they were doing. They'll get other scientists to continue with whatever it is they were doing. And Israel has said they're not going to allow that happen. Iran retaliated. I think they sent about 100 drones. Israel said that they're intercepting it. But overall, if there's a Cold War breaking out in the Middle East, it's going to disrupt this, the same stability that we have experienced in that axis. Do you think with the kind of person Donald Trump is, he would interfere or intervene and resolve this? Let there be some sense of sanity, considering what transpired between Israel and Palestine? Or would he just stay aside and allow them do their thing? But obviously, the U.S. would have to support Israel.
I mean, the reason to answer your question, so Israel is pretty much taking on wars on 2 fronts.
Yes.
Right? So the reason they're able to do that is the United States. It's because they know that Donald Trump has been categorical in saying that they will support Israel.
But Donald Trump said he warned Israel not to actually go on this offensive.
Yes, but his policy stance and the policy stance of the Republican Party and all of Congress, and the Republicans control Congress right now, is that they owe Israel a duty and an obligation to support them. So the reason Israel has the courage to take on this frontal wars is because they know that if push comes to shove, the United States will stand up for them. On the other hand, the U.S., Donald Trump, is trying very hard to de-escalate this by, going into. They've been having negotiations,
Yeah.
with the Iranian
Negotiations whereby they
coalition.
don't already start today. They don't start the. Can you what they want to do?
Sometimes when you're in negotiation, you show your hand a bit, so it can strengthen you.
But don't you think Israel has taken a huge gamble on this?
They're used to fighting wars,
Because more attacks are being planned from both fronts. And don't you think it's going to dwindle their own resources, their own arsenal?
Survive it, Esther. This country is used to fighting. They have fought from the day they were formed in 1948 till today. They've been fighting wars. There's nobody those people have not fought amongst their neighbors, right? So they're used to this, and I think that as long as they've got the support of the West, they will keep doing this.
Well, Israel is boasting that their defense systems are working to actually stop the threat, since Iran actually sent their own drones, and they're very positive that they can withstand whatever heat Iran intends to retaliate with. Well, I just hope that things de-escalate, because Israel and Palestine have not been able to sort out that rubble. Things are still bad there. The international community is calling for prosecution on Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And despite all the talks of quelling the imbroglio, it feels like Israel is still standing firm with their belief that indeed these terrorist organizations needs to be eviscerated and their members. It's a huge gamble, but I hope that it's resolved as soon as possible. Now, Kenneth Okonkwo did what you would call a particular interview very recently, having to speak on the imbroglio between he and Peter Obi, why he's comprehensive one in that particular conversation they both had. I would like you to listen to what Kenneth Okonkwo said. He literally decided to say that Peter Obi betrayed him, and that was the reason why he left. So let's take a listen to Kenneth Okonkwo here.
Any politician that knows what he's doing cannot be betrayed by anybody. If there is anybody that betrayed the other, I can say it emphatically that P2B betrayed me. When we started 2023, it was an organic movement. Every Nigerian wanted a change. Every Nigerian was dissatisfied with the way things were going. And everybody wanted a change. And so we and Nigerians felt that there is a new thing that is appearing in the horizon. And because I'm a man looking for the security and welfare of Nigerians, not any politician or any political party, I was sold to it. Nobody drafted me into following the movement. I followed the movement myself. And so when I was chosen to be a spokesperson, I honored it. And then we continued. And everybody knew what I did and my contribution. Because one thing about being a spokesperson is that you are out there. So whatever you're doing is in the public. So whatever you're contributing when you're a spokesperson is out there in the public. And we did. And we achieved what we believed we achieved. And we believe that we won the election. Then after that, what happened? We believed that we were denied. We went to court, up to Supreme Court, and we believed that we did not get justice. Now, our leaders say, calm down. And that was how that chapter ended. What then happened after that? If you did what you did in 2023, if you are a brilliant politician, what you should do is to start preparing, start consolidating for 2027. And the first platform you start with is your party. In Nigeria, there's no room for independent candidacy. So you must have a party, a political party as your platform. And when we moved into Labour Party, nobody was interested in the structure of the Labour Party. because we moved in for the election. So nobody even wanted to ruffle any structure of Labour Party. That was why when people wanted to assault Labour Party, I took it that they wanted to assault our electoral chances, and I fought fiercely against that. When you hear all those other factions fighting Labour Party then, and we always succeeded. Then after that, there now came a convention where we needed now to start showing the world whether we are serious in building a virile democratic party or not. Whatever you told the world before 2023 will not matter in 2027, because there will be no new thing you will tell them. It is what you do from 2023 to 2027 that they will judge you with. And I raised the advice that we said we are fighting against the structure of criminality. We said we are better off, even if we lose, doing the right thing than winning doing the wrong thing. That this is the litmus test. And then when we entered into the convention, I, as the spokesperson, was not even informed about the convention. I saw it leaked when the letter was leaked in the social media. But because I was not interested in being an executive of Labour Party or being interested in any elective post, I was like, I wanted to keep quiet until Peter Obi himself came out publicly to say the people that are doing this convention did not consult people. This convention should not go on. This convention should not go on. And then a convention went on after warning them. And then, knowing the consequence that a leader has said something and the people did not follow the leader, the next thing is that the leader ought to embark on doing something to ensure that his order was obeyed. I called Peter Obi privately. You made this public statement. Do you mean it? Or was it a political statement? Because I have no dog in this fight. And then he said, he meant it. Can't I see that he did not even attend the convention? And I'm like, what a cheek. What gave these people the power to continue when our leader has spoken? And that was when I came out to say that convention is illegal and is null and void, and presented my facts by law, because in fairness, it was an illegal convention. That was how I said, no, it can't stand. Then you, the Peter Obi that said that, after a little while, they went and lied to Peter Obi that INEC has accepted them. That was a lie they told him. And then Peter Obi surreptitiously went back to them. And I'm like, sir, you have made a public statement on integrity. Even if INEC has accepted these people, that is not a criterion for you to go back and start dealing with them. Because these people have shown that they are not democratic. If you go back to them, they will destroy your political career. And everything you have said about integrity and everything will die. That these people are now agents in the hand of the government to destabilize you. That you should not try it. And that since you have made a public statement and we have started acting on it, if we go back, it's going to affect our integrity. Me, I don't go back. Because not only that you said it, it is true that what they did was absolutely illegal and unconstitutional. If you go back to them, I will not go back to you. I will not go back with you. And you know what? I called all the people that we are in the inner circle and told them the same. Look at what our guy is trying to do. He wants to go back with the Abure people. If he does it, he's not going to go back with me, because I do not swallow back my words. And after saying all those things, within like 72 hours, he went back to Abure's office to publicly endorse them. And when he was there talking to them, one of the leaders in that executive sent me the video to mock me that the person I'm fighting for against them has come to their office to endorse them. What am I waiting for? That was the first time I made a public statement that I disassociate myself from anything Abure and his executive. And that was the last time I sat down with Peter Obi to talk. And then we continued. Because I told Peter Obi, if because they lied to you, or even they told you that INEC, because then he didn't know they lied to him, but I know, being a lawyer, I said, assuming without considering that INEC has even recognized them, INEC recognized Tinubu. So why not let us go back with him?
How would you react to this, Mr. Shokmiton? Because I know that you were on ground in 2023 a lot, and you knew what this happened. Kenneth Okonkwo was one of the supporters, henchmen of Peter Obi at the time. He went to all the court proceedings during the election tribunal up until the Supreme Court. After that, he came and stood firm, spoke on behalf, called out the government of the day, called out INEC, and then later we heard him tell us that he had left the Labour Party. He was not going to be part of the Julius Abure, and then actually said that Nigerian politics is not done with a meek mind. You can't play gentleman with Nigerian politics. He was referring to Peter Obi. So he's saying that Peter was the one that betrayed him. Do you think Peter Obi was gullible at the time, and that based on some of the semantics he wrote out here, he did not take advantage of the movement, make it a platform, and he didn't collaborate or partner with people at the time, considering that he was really at the height of support with Nigerians?
Let's look at it from, let's take two angles.
Okay.
Let's look at Kenneth Okonkwo and then look at Peter Obi.
Okay.
Because I think we can separate them in this issue.
Okay.
In my opinion, all you need to do, the question you need to ask yourself, with regards to what Kenneth Okonkwo is saying and on whose side he is on. Okay. Because for me, that's the most important thing. I'm not a politician, like I will always say. We're all political animals. I have my leanings, I have my preferences, but I'm not a politician. Where is Kenneth Okonkwo today? I think that's a question we need to ask.
Well, the last time we saw him with former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, where they were talking about a coalition. At the time, we saw pictures of him in the office. They were talking about coalition.
There are whispers that he's going to join the APC. Even he himself has not categorically denied it. He's kind of...
He has said, I think I have an audio where he said he would never ever go back to the APC.
I hope so. I really hope so, because for me, it's all sounding like politics to me. It's all sounding like strategic calculation.
Okay.
With regards to which side to pitch your tent. So let's assume that Peter Obi was gullible.
All right.
Is Kenneth Okonkwo saying that the Abure convention, the convention that returned Abure as chairman, would have suddenly become legal if Peter Obi had told him that he knew about it and he accepted it? Would that have made it legal? Because it seems like his grouse is, well, since Peter Obi says it's not legal, I'm not going to accept it. And then all of a sudden, Peter Obi turns around and he's now feeling betrayed. So if Peter Obi had said, yeah, I'm aware of the convention, let them go ahead, it's okay, would that have made that convention legal, and would it have made Abure's emergence valid? Okay,
so here is the thing. There's a 21-day or 30-day period whenever you want to have any convention. They already faltered in that line. That's one. Two, you're meant to invite INEC 21 days or 30 days before the convention.
Besides that.
And then you also bring in all the stakeholders involving Peter Obi.
Look, the point, Esther, the point is that for that convention to have held in line with the constitution of most political parties, you must start from the word and then move upwards. You can't have a national convention that is hanging on its own. And I think that's one of the major grasses of the major stakeholders, in that movement. The convention was just done. It was like a charade. It was just done quickly
to bring
this guy back, even when it was clear that he no longer had a hold on the party and no longer had a stand. The honorable thing for Abure to have done at that time was to have stepped back, become an ex officio, become like the big boy that has been there and guiding things, almost like a godfather, so to speak, right? So, so to speak. So, in my opinion, the convention was wrong one way or the other. But Peter Obi's position, either way, should not have been such a big determinant to now say, oh, I was betrayed. Now, that's for Kenneth Okonkwo. On Peter Obi's side, every people kind of criticize him that he's really, really a bit weak in his approach to politics.
Okay.
And that he's trying to play politics in a way that is
safe,
alien to our culture, our political culture. And a lot of people, would say, look, he can't succeed that way. And I've always maintained that we need somebody who will play differently. We need somebody who will do it differently. Should he? I don't think he handled that whole Labour Party thing well. I really don't think he handled it well. I think that should have been more emphatic. I think he should have taken charge of the party structure ab initio. He didn't do enough. He was not forceful enough. You are the presidential candidate of the party. You have, according to INEC, we must always remember that 6 million Nigerians behind you. You are a political force, right? So he should have leveraged on that. Who is Labour Party without Peter Obi? Who was Labour Party before Peter Obi? It was just a platform that disgruntled APC and PDP members ran to try and run when they felt the need. There was no Labour Party.
Would you say he wasn't properly advised? Or he's surrounded by people who are not possibly politicians or people who were just taking advantage of his fame at the time, that they were not grounding him? Or is it someone who doesn't listen? Or did he just believe that it's the choice of the people, let them do what they want?
I think Peter Obi believes very strongly in the power of the people. And for me, he's right. But politics doesn't quite work that way alone. It's not just about the power of the people. Before you are able to present yourself to the people, for them to exercise that power, you must walk through politicians to acquire mandates, to acquire platform. Like Okonkwo said, there is no independent candidacy in Nigeria. So you need a political platform. You can't just be talking about the people. Look, if the people is behind you, you are okay, everything will be fine. It's not that simple. So I think that Peter Obi should have been more emphatic without necessarily being thuggish and rascally in his approach. He could have been more emphatic in taking control of that platform. He had the wherewithal. He had the political force and power behind him. He had the finances. So why didn't he do it? Why did he allow things to just go out of control? Now they have a national caretaker committee. They have an executive. Everybody's suspending everybody else. There's a Supreme Court judgment that nobody is quite sure what it means. Everybody is interpreting it the way they want. All of that chaos is not speaking well of his leadership qualities. In my opinion, his political dexterity has not really been painted in good light, given his handling of this. Having said that, who do we really need as a leader in Nigeria today? Do we need a dexterous politician or do we need an honest man? So I think that if we're all able to find a way through all of the political rigmarole and produce a man who refuses to play politics the normal way, I think then we're going to begin to see progress. If you allow a man that is dexterous with politics to get into power, he will pursue his own interests by virtue of the nature of politics in Nigeria. We need to understand that the way politics works in Nigeria, for you to succeed in that game, you can't think about the people. You have to think about your interest and the interest of the people around you.
And
and
so
the next
that's
election.
what he's lacking.
So it's a double-edged sword. I don't really know how to categorize him.
Okay.
You know, I think it's a good thing on the one hand,
Yeah.
but I think that he needs to lean slightly towards being a bit more politically sagacious.
All right. Do you know
than
Dori
what he's
Dogara,
doing now.
the woman whom obviously came on, I think, on Arise television one day to express her disappointment of
Absolutely.
Peter Obi, where she said that
Yes.
people came out to vote for you and you just left them hanging. You didn't take advantage of it. You didn't protect that love that I gave to
remember
you.
that.
And Peter Obi went to visit her
Yeah.
in her home where they resolved issues. She had an interview with him and these questions came to light. Why didn't you push further? Why didn't you protect the people? Why weren't you affirmative like you just disclosed? Let's listen to what he said in that particular interview.
I can tell you that if I come out to fight or do anything, it will actually be more negative against us. Because you're dealing with people who are already expecting such to have it as a basis to do worse. So the only way is to follow, and I still believe in it, the process of the law, and we followed it to its logical conclusion.
Let me take you back to my anger, which, okay, it's not so strong now. What do you say to people who say you're not aggressive enough because you're dealing with wolves?
Well, it depends on how aggressive they want you to go. You know, when people talk about being aggressive, just like some, we say, oh, he's weak, oh, he's humble. And it's like, for me, we're not in a wrestling match. Or neither, no, we're not in a wrestling match. We're not in a war or competitive front. What we're doing, leadership does not require fighting. It requires ideas. Well, I mentioned it immediately after the election, that we won the election. Well, because of the manipulation, the rigging, and all sorts of things that shouldn't be associated with a decent election, we lost. In some states, people were not even allowed to be where they're doing collection. People were chased out of polling booths. So you see people saying we don't have polling booths yet. But actually, we have. But for one reason or the other, they were compromised. We chased out. So that's all sorts of things. But for me, that is past. There's problem all over the world. In the Western world, developed world, developing, there's a problem everywhere. The purpose of a leader is to solve problems. Not to give excuses, not to complain.
I just see transport, maybe because I worked in that industry.
So, again, you heard his response to
Yeah,
that, just like I asked you, and that's what Kenneth Okonkwo said, that was the bane of him dissociating himself from the Labour Party. He did not say that he and Peter Obi, he no longer believes in him, but he just made a statement now that ever since that particular phone conversation, that was the last time both of them talked. The last time that Peter Obi arrived at the Labour Party quarters with the Nnamdi Usman committee, we saw Kenneth Okonkwo there. And a couple of obedience and supporters of Peter Obi were happy that, okay, maybe the issue with Kenneth was Labour Party and not the person of Peter Obi. So with this conversation or this confession and admittance he has made, do we believe that he may no longer be part of the Peter Obi movement towards 2027? And if that is the case, the coalition that we saw him is talking about, he's heavily into coalition. What if Peter Obi leaves the Labour Party and joins this coalition and he's one of their principal candidates? What will then happen with the relationship with Kenneth Okonkwo?
To be honest, I don't even know why we are belaboring the Kenneth Okonkwo thing, because
Okay.
as far as I'm concerned, the people that you need to be worried about are people with what we call political capital.
Okay.
You know, political value. People that can move votes.
Okay.
That's what we're looking for. You know, so Kenneth
And do you
Okonkwo,
think he has
I don't
them?
think so.
You don't think
I
Peter Obi has them?
No. I'm talking about Kenneth
Okay,
Okonkwo.
okay.
I'm saying that Kenneth Okonkwo is an eloquent, speaker.
Mm-hmm.
He's good with words, and he's therefore important because politics is all about,
Being able to be convincing.
messaging, right? So it's important, but not to this degree of now being worried. Oh, Kenneth Okonkwo is here. Kenneth Okonkwo. It's not really that big a deal. If Kenneth Okonkwo wants to go to APC or to PDP, let him exercise his freedom of choice.
Okay.
Now, the issue, what Peter Obi said there, I think I like it, but like I said earlier, he's got to be slightly more pragmatic. So yes, I love the fact that what he's trying to do. So his explanation is that he's trying to follow due process.
Yeah.
And there is the evidence of history that this is the way he does things.
Okay.
Twice he reclaimed his mandate in Anambra State. Twice. And he did that by simply allowing the courts
process
to
to
do
work.
their thing.
But then it's not now.
It's the way to go. I support that fully. However, you must also understand that, let me give you an example, just an anecdotal example, like in real life. If you are the owner of land, right, and you fence your land, you don't develop it, and you have some sort of title to prove it's yours, but you don't develop it and you leave it there for 10, 15 years. You come back in 15 years later and you find a full-blown structure, fully painted. People are living there. The place has been developed. My sister, if you go to court, you don't own that land. The possessor of land in law is the owner. Lawyers can call and prove me wrong. I've seen cases upon cases that have been determined like this. The judge will ask you, where have you been? So it's a fait accompli. A building has been erected on this, and these people have been enjoying peaceful possession for as long as they have. Where have you been? So you can follow due process, but the owner of that land would have lost that land, even though he went to court to try and reclaim his mandate, right? So what you need to do in that situation is to ensure that they don't build on your land. So whatever you need to do, and that's why you see that people, sometimes they actually kill each other, trying to prevent possession, because they understand that once this person builds on this land, it will be very difficult to take it back from him. So they go to all extents to prevent that from happening. And I think that's what maybe Peter Obi also needs to do a bit more of. He needs to be more pragmatic in knowing what actions to take and what actions not to take. You know, the ones not to take are the ones that will betray his ideological leaning. And I think that ideology is a fantastic one. Allow due process at all times. But you must be balanced. Everything is balanced in this life. You can't just go in one extreme. Or you will lose your way.
Wow, that's a very deep one. So yesterday was June 12th, Democracy Day. Peter Obi held a mini press conference, sort of, after the president was done at the National Assembly, and there were quite a number of reactions from that. The supporters believe that Peter Obi is now talking. He's now being affirmative. He's no longer timid or scared to, what will happen to his supporters. He doesn't want anything to happen to them, with his name. Well, a couple of persons called that particular thing he did treasonous. Is that treasonous?
How? I don't understand.
Some certain persons, some propagandists said that why would he organize a press conference? Is he the president? And all of that. He was basically speaking about democracy and the kind of leadership, his own perception of the kind of current leadership that will operate. Gave out some statistics anyways. But a couple of persons came out to make statements that he would allow himself by the time they imprison him and all of that. And so the question now is, are the supporters of this administration saying that if you make any statement that criticizes the government of the day or anything that doesn't reflect in alliance with the government of the day, that you've committed treason, and then they will use the state powers to arrest you? Or maybe that's basically what they've been looking forward to.
I think we shouldn't laugh these things off. Because if there's anything I know about government apologies generally, whether of this government or other governments, it's that they are the things that they say are orchestrated.
Yes, and they induce certain things.
There's usually a place where those conversations start from, where they are refined, and then they are thrown out into the public space. So we shouldn't take it lightly. But I find it laughable because, look, Segun Shokwiton, I can have State of the Nation address on 1st of October 2025. It is my right as a citizen to stand before my fellow citizens and declare a speech and say whatever I want to say about my country, as long as I don't call for a coup. Pastor Tunde Bakari delivers State of the Nation address every Sunday. Why don't they go arrest him? Why don't they arrest Obasanjo, who is always writing letters about the country? So that's a bit laughable, but we've got to watch it because there is this overbearing push from government people and the government itself against free speech. And this tendency, we talked about the death of democracy and what's happening to democracy in Nigeria. And I think this is also kind of along those lines. It's a free, we're a democratic country. Anybody can say anything that they want to say, anywhere they want to say it, at any time, on any date, as long as they don't call for coup or war.
Mr. Lawal Kundar, welcome to the conversation. You joined us late, so welcome. How are you?
Not bad.
Not bad. Mr. Lawal Kundar, so I'm sure you had Mr. Segun Shokpiton giving us his reaction to what Kenneth Okonkwo said about Peter Obi, how the movement, the obedient movement and the supporters of Peter Obi are trying to structure themselves. Peter Obi recently has now been speaking out. He's now more vocal. I mean, I think in the last 3 days, I have seen different conversations he has had. Questions have been asked and all of that. He has affirmed once again in one of the interview sessions he had or roundtable conversations he had, I think this was yesterday, that for now he belongs to the Labour Party. He intends to run on the platform of the Labour Party. Meanwhile, I'm sure 2 days ago, I think on Tuesday, or Wednesday, and you were here, where I played to you one Farouk man who is part of the stakeholders in the Labour Party, organized a press conference, accusing Peter Obi of being the one to cause the issue within the Labour Party, saying that he refused to collaborate and work to ensure that whatever porosity was observed within the party was quickly resolved, and literally blamed him and Alex Oti for what is going on, and isolated the APC or any other opposition of inducing or infusing any anomaly within the Labour Party. How would you quickly react to this?
I'll start with Kenneth Okonkwo.
Okay.
I don't know. You have issue. If you have some issues in your party, if you love that party,
Yeah.
you don't need to come to public now. You will have resolved what you want to resolve. You have called one or two people. You could have visited somebody. If you love the party, you will not come out and begin to expose the buttocks of the party.
No, in this case, it's not the party, because he said the party mocked him.
See, what I'm saying, when you talk about Obi, you talk about the party. What he's saying does not exonerate the party, because he's both talking about the party and Obi at the same time. He's been mentioning Labour, he's been mentioning Aburi, he's been mentioning Obi. You get creating you giving each one his own share of what he thinks. You don't need to do that. If you truly belong to Labour, you don't need to do that. You don't. If you have issues, you find a way to resolve the issues, because the moment you start exposing yourself outside, you create loopholes for the enemies to have opportunity to be able to attack you. And if you are telling the people indirectly that you don't want to have anything to do with Labour, then it's time you come out openly and say it.
Okay. He has actually done that. He has done that. He has said it. The question was...
Is he no more with Labour at the moment?
Mr. Lawal Kundaya, it's been a long time he stepped away from Labour Party. I think this was since last year. The question Mr. Lawal Kundaya, they asked him was, based on the conversation Peter Obi had on Arise Television, he insinuated that certain persons betrayed him. There were betrayers around him. One of such persons, obviously, was when Kenneth Okonkwo came out to distance himself from the Labour Party, and Julius Abure and the corruption, malpractice, malfeasance, whatever allegations on him, and the fact that Peter Obi was treating the political journey with kid gloves and being meek. And he says that the kind of politics in Nigeria is not meek. The politics that we practice here is not meek. Power is not served a la carte. That he expects Peter Obi to be vociferous, to be gallant, to be aggressive, not in a volatile way that will lead to instability in the polity, but an affirmative way where you command respect, you command aura, you command stability. That's what he was referring to. So at the time, he felt that he wasn't active in stabilizing the disarray within the Labour Party before it became what it became now. In that regard, that was where this situation came up, and he was trying to defend what transpired between he and Peter Obi. So he said it was Peter Obi that betrayed him. So my question to you at this particular point in time, in reaction to what Mr. Segun Shokpiton said, was, after he realized that Peter Obi was no longer in good terms with Abure, when Peter Obi realized the truth, because according to him, he said Peter Obi was lied to, that INEC had confirmed that convention that was illegal. When you realize that Peter Obi was no longer in tandem with Abure, why didn't you call him and possibly resolve your differences, and then you guys can continue to do what you're doing?
That is where, you see, you are coming back to my statement initially, that if you know that you love this party, you believe in the ideology.
Not the party.
No, I'm talking, see, I'm
talking about, he's referring to his relationship with Peter Obi, not the party. He made his complaint about the party. So he's talking about his relationship with Peter, not the party. Now put the party aside.
Okay. Now, that's what I'm saying, that if you have issues with this person, if you believe in the ideology of this person, you find a way to try to resolve it. You don't expose the buttocks of your the person you love outside. You don't go about telling the wife. Don't go about telling everybody about the issues he's having with his husband in the house.
Okay.
And the husband does not go about telling everybody because people will help you to expand that issue. It's better you resolve it. Now, you keep saying all these things. You keep saying all this. Each time you say it, you give opportunity to. I'm talking about Okonkwo. Now, look at the speech that Obi. Let me tell you something about Obi that I came to realize. Obi is made up of two things, like every other person. There are two Obis: the political Obi and the administrative Obi. There are two Obis in one Peter Obi, the political Obi and the administrative Obi. Both of them cannot score 100 if you score them. One must be higher than the other. Now, what do we want from Obi? People are interested more in the administrative aspect than in the political aspect.
Are you sure?
I'm coming. The reason why
I not agree with you, Mr. Lawal.
Let me finish. No, I mean, why I said that is because the reason why some people believe that this man can move the country forward is the way he administered the state he administered before. That is the main reason. It's not because he's a very eloquent person, he can speak very well, he's a very fantastic speaker. No, they are looking at his as citizen as an administrator of a state, and they saw what he did. He ran the state like a business. You run the state like a business, and the state moved forward. The person who came on board was able to do something and then continue to do something further up till now. So people are looking at that. So they see it as this man is good administratively.
But now Peter Obi is now understanding political alliance.
I'm coming.
He's
now.
speaking up now. So in the political arena, because again, we need to understand Nigeria's political hemisphere. Political strategy, it has always been aggressive, rough. You need to form alliances, you need to negotiate with certain persons that ordinarily you may not even want to speak with. But because you need the alliance and the, complexity of our country and its different tribes and religion, to balance this, you need to know how to politically negotiate. So right now at this point in time, do you think he has learned? Nobody is perfect. Mistakes were made. And a lot of persons have left the movement. Persons close to him have left him. You can see one close ally, Valentine Ozigbo, who obviously went to the APC. A lot of people have left. He has learned. So would you say him speaking up now is too late?
It's never too late. In fact, it's not even the main thing. Okay. Whether he's speaking out or he's not speaking out is not the main thing. I am telling you what people are looking for. Because if you, like my colleague said here, if you vote for a politician that is very good mathematically when it comes to politics, but it's not a good administrator, you are going to have problem in that place. Because he's going to be busy playing politics all over the place and he will not do much when it comes to administration. You are going to suffer. Okay. But if you vote for somebody who is good administratively but politically is not so good, you are going to enjoy because he will even be afraid of the people. Any small protest or any people coming out like they want to change because he can't manipulate his way through the people.
Okay.
So now Peter Obi is speaking up. It's not an issue. It's not going to be. But there are some politicians, they don't even speak at all. I remember when Buhari was coming on, but how many things did he tell you? Can you tell me 2 or 3 things he promised you? Can you tell me somebody else was doing all the talking? Even when he won, he was telling us all these things. I was not aware that they were even making all these promises in my back. You remember that time? I remember. So if he's speaking now, it's not an issue. I'm not saying that it's perfect. I'm not saying that one or two things he's saying or what he's saying is perfectly everything. But he's learning. He has tried to be learning to even try to improve in the political aspect, which is not bad. What I'll just advise him is that he should have loyal and experienced and professional political scientists around it that will be giving him advice. And, giving advice, he'll be listening so that when he's coming out, he'll be well prepared. Right. So whatever he says now, see, He has not said anything wrong to me
All right,
because
no
everybody
problem.
is talking.
No problem. Mr. Shagun Shukmito, let me come to you because we need to open the phone lines on time. Mr. Shagun Shukmito, a cross-section of Nigerians picked holes on the president's speech yesterday. A couple of persons felt that the president was more interested in mocking the opposition party and eschewing the, the benefits of his policy implementation rather than addressing the wanton killings across the country, which was basically the thing that Nigerians were waiting for him to address. In reading out all the achievements and what his administration intends to do, a couple of Nigerians felt it will not be possible if he has not dealt with insecurity. However, with the achievements that he rolled out yesterday, the average Nigerian is saying, we are not seeing this thing, so who are the persons seeing it? How are they receiving it and we're not receiving it? Possibly are castles built on the air and they're coming out to reel out all these emoluments and benefits. Who are the beneficiaries of all of this that the president is saying? The academy, the CNG initiative, the small scale businesses, all of that. Who are the benefits of it? Because they who are on ground going through what they're going through are not seeing any benefit at all. So do you think the president is still politicking rather than focusing on governance? That's one. Two, with some certain persons that were conferred yesterday, they had issues with certain persons that were conferred yesterday. They made mention of Bayo Onanuga, whom they felt did not deserve that because they feel he has been part of those who have been ethnically dividing the polity ever since the president assumed office, and they felt he ought not have been conferred. Then certain persons that formed Nadeco, that they were not also recognized by the president, who was also part of Nadeco for democracy. What would you say to this?
I mean, on the awards, to start with the easier one, the president basically, so it was a mixed bag.
Okay.
What I did was yesterday I wrote somewhere about it and I said it was a case of the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Okay.
So there were people there that you see their name and it warms your heart. For example, Ken Saro-Wiwa.
Okay.
Kudirat Abiola. These are people that clearly deserves recognition because of their contributions to the journey, the historical journey, especially with regards to democracy of Nigeria. And then there were names there that, in my opinion, are ugly. What's Bayo Onanuga doing on that list? Somebody says because he was part of the struggle, and all of that, but he has not conducted himself as a nation builder in the last 2-3 years. Okay. He has his rhetoric. In fact, for me, that name alone tarnishes the entire list. I could mention a few other names, but I'll just leave it at that. So the awards were good in certain regards, but not so good in other regards. But not a big deal. The real issue for me, that speech was as usual. It's beginning to become quite usual. It was unpresidential.
You think so?
Absolutely.
His supporters believe it was presidential and it was confrontational, and it actually put in place the president as someone who is very affirmative.
Yes, they will say that, and that's not surprising. That's what we have come to be used to. But for me, as somebody who has certain standards and expectations of how things should be done, we must remind his supporters and remind him that he is the president of Nigeria. He is the president of the 6 million people that voted for Peter Obi. He is the president of the 6 million that voted for Atiku. And is the president of the 7 point something, or whatever that number is, that voted for him. He is the president of those ones that did not vote at all. He is the president of the ones that are in APC, PDP, and every other place. He is the president of Nigeria. So when you mount a rostrum and you are not at a party convention, you are speaking to Nigerians in no less auspicious a space than the Halo Chamber of Democracy in the National Assembly, which is a symbol of democracy in Nigeria. Every time there is a coup, the first thing that the coup plotters and the military does is to immediately suspend the National Assembly, suspend the Constitution, suspend the National Assembly. Those are the two symbols of democracy. So you go to that place where it is the symbol of democracy, and then in addition to all the flowery, nice things that you say that people can't connect with, you then descended into the arena of politics. That's why I said it was unpresidential. President Tinubu needs to recognize that there is a place and a time for everything. There's a place and a time for politicking, and there's a place and a time for governance. When you are speaking to Nigerians, you are not speaking to politicians. You are not speaking to opposition people. You are speaking to Nigerians. So it is not in a speech on democracy, for me, I felt a bit violated. That a speech, yes, I felt very strongly. I was really unhappy.
Yeah.
That a speech, excuse me, that a speech that was supposed to celebrate our journey, our democratic experience, make a connection between that democratic experience and the development and economic progress.
Okay.
He could have said all of those things.
Okay.
He could have said all of those things at an APC convention or at the National Working Committee.
Not at the day when you're addressing
Nigeria. He was speaking to Nigerians and then talking about all those achievements that he's talking about. Look, there is something they call inclusive growth and development.
Okay.
What we're experiencing in Nigeria is that we're seeing macroeconomic indicators that are looking good. Inflation is beginning to look good. GDP growth rate is beginning to look good. The CBN is beginning to, stabilize the MPC.
Yeah.
Exchange rate is stabilizing supposedly, and all of that. PMS price is good. All of those things are not connecting with the people.
Okay.
When they talked about Nel Fund, Credit Corp, and all those things are infinitesimally small compared to the enormity of the problem of Nigeria. The number of SME operators that we have in this country, we're talking 40, 50 million people that are not registered and that are doing business. Those people need money. Look, if you put 100 billion down like they did with Credit Corp and all of those things, that money disappears if you give it to 1,000 people. How many people are 1,000 people in this country? So that's why those things are not connecting. We're not doing enough. The money that they're spending on building a road that we really don't need could have been better deployed trying to address capacity development and empowerment of Nigerian people towards wealth creation. So there's a whole lot more to do. It's no time for celebration. And all of this flowery speech and patting yourself on the back and and all of that is completely out of place.
The people are meant to do that for you, not you doing it for yourself. The president's close ally, Chaguri, actually sacked 150 of his workers because they were protesting for the fact that they have not been paid and unhealthy working conditions, that even during holidays they're asked to come work. And they said, for example, they were like they handpicked those who particularly participated in the protests. The construction firm is owned by the Lebanese Nigerian billionaire and a close ally of the president. He sacked 150 workers who staged the protest against poor remuneration and slave-like working conditions. They said it's a brutal response to the protest that erupted last week at the company's site in Lagos, where workers downed tools and marched in protest against years of neglect, unfair pay, and exploitative labor practices. He also highlighted long-standing grievances at the party, that's those who were part of the protest, including exploitation of the Nigerian staff by their foreign counterparts, and they are forced to work on public holidays. So here is where Nigerians are bothered. This is the president's close ally. Most of the contracts and what projects for road and whatever, is this Chaguri that's in charge of it? How would somebody who is a close ally of the president be in such a mess? Why would he, anybody who lays a protest, you don't listen to them, you sack them, and there are concerns, you didn't address it. So do you think this taints the personality of the president because they're very close allies?
Well, I don't think so. I think Chaguri is acting on his own, and obviously he's acting because he has the backing, so-called, of the president. But yeah, of course, they're friends. I mean, he can't do this in Lebanon. He can't. He won't try it. They will take him to court. Those societies are better organized than ours. He can't do it in the US.
The accusations of Lebanese companies doing more of this in this,
of course, because they can get away with it here. They can't do it in their own country. So, and more so when you are as politically connected as this guy. So if what normally I would have said to those guys is go to court. But now go to court has become mockery because we all know. We know what the court will do. And this is a friend of the president. So those people should go to court. Anyway, they should still go to court. And if the court, and if the court then decides that they will disgrace themselves, let them disgrace themselves in the eyes of history and in the eyes of posterity. But you do your part.
Mr. Lawal Kundaya, I want to really hear from you, because I know you have a way of contextualizing your perception to certain issues. The president's speech yesterday, Mr. Shagu Shokwiton gave us a two-way analysis of what he thinks of the president's speech. But Nigerians were not happy. They felt that the president should have demonstrated the spirit of democracy by officially reinstating the governor of Rivers State, Fubara. A couple of others feel that the 6 month has not yet expired. So if Fubara is still on the suspension, fine. Others believe that the reconciliation efforts that are underway have not been finalized. Wike and Fubara are still on the talking terms. Maybe there are other things they expect Fubara to do, But Sirika Dixon called out the president and said that the president is undemocratic, called him authoritative. He expected him to have actually announced and installed Fubara as a governor back. Former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan also asked the president to do so yesterday. There were expectations. But Ibak Eta Iba said something when he was presenting the 1.48 trillion naira budget for Rivers State that the constitutionally recognized government will soon come back. When he did not tell us, but that what's his name, Fubara, is on his way to the government house. So in that respect, in that regard, what will be your own angles of the president's speech yesterday?
Like a Fubara thing. That was a time you asked me the same thing that do I believe that something that I told you until I see it, until it is announced, because I don't believe what the present administration, whatever they say, I don't believe it until I see it in action.
Okay.
I have seen them where they say one thing and people find out that it's not what it is. So I said until I see it, because I don't believe it happened. Okay. It was never.
So what do you think about the president's speech, then?
Was it legally done? Was it constitutionally done? These are the questions.
The president feel it was constitutional.
No, this is not the president. We are talking about the constitution. The constitution is greater than everybody.
The Chief Justice of the Federation actually backed the president.
That is not the issue. The issue is the constitution, which will be interpreted by the Supreme Court. It's not the IAGF that interprets the constitution.
But they want the PDP members to withdraw the suit.
That's why when Wike said they should, I was wondering, why do you want them? If you believe that the president has done the right thing, why are you pressurizing PDP to governors to withdraw that? You could just let them finish and then eventually lose.
Okay.
But you want them to withdraw because you yourself, you are not sure of what has been done. You are not sure of the legality of what the constitutional, legality of what has been done. So the question is not whether the president is returning this man Fubara or not. The question is, has he acted constitutionally? We came to forget that the president is not a dictator. Is subjected to the constitution. So now we are looking at the president as the overall. That's why we are talking to the president. We are not talking to the constitution. We should be asking the constitution.
We should be asking the constitution.
Yes. We should be asking the constitution. What is the business of the president? We don't need to be talking to the president because the president is subjected to the constitution. The constitution is supreme. So we should be talking to the person who is supreme.
But if the president said he consulted the Chief Justice of the Federation and the Minister of Justice is also affirming,
all of these people you are mentioning are still subjected to the Constitution because they derive their power from the Constitution.
So you say that they went abnormal. Supreme. They went away. They went abnormal from the Constitution.
Yes, that is what we should be. That is what we should be asking. So if that not whether the president should.
If that is the case, if the president has gone against the Constitution, if those working with the president who are meant to uphold the tenets of the Constitution derailed in that particular aspect of their jurisdiction, who will sue the president?
See, let the Constitution interpret this thing.
Who will interpret the Constitution?
That's why they are going to court. Why is Wike asking demanding the PDP governors to withdraw it? Leave them now. You believe you are right. You get it. The president has done the right thing. Nobody is saying whether let the Constitution let the Supreme Court interpret the Constitution for everybody to see. You are seeing cases where the president has, of any country in the world, even in America, even in Britain, all over the world, they will have to go to the Constitution.
All right,
and the Constitution will not come back.
What do you think about I need to open the phone lines. The president's speech in a brief summary.
I'm not impressed with the speech because I have seen so many. They said they have security is better. You can all those stuffs, which I know is not true.
No, the president did not say security.
He mentioned security now.
He just said that they were working and that the troops, they're trying to work on ensuring that they are properly armed or something. But he did not focus on security, which is what
he mentioned everything. Go and read the speech again. Read that area as constitution.
That as not constitution.
I mean, sorry,
about
the
security.
speech.
Security was not. He didn't really focus on security, and that's why
he mentioned it. I said everything is fine. It's better.
Focus on it because we know insecurity is bedeviling the nation. He did not address it. That's the issue a couple of persons had with it. The insecurity in the nation is mind-boggling. It's brazen. It's big. Do you know that it has gotten so bad that once you get out of this Lagos Ibadan Expressway, you're going towards that okay. You're anything can happen to you.
It's terrible.
It's really terrible. And these guys are so bold and brazen. They have continued with it. People who just stay in Lagos and some southwestern states think that possibly because they don't have to travel out, they don't know how bad it is. It's really bad. So Why was that not a priority?
I've had cases in which somebody was kidnapped in this Bagada here,
yes.
and he found himself in Ogun State. He was kidnapped here. He just entered one channel, and the vehicle took him to Ogun State. The vehicle must have crossed checkpoints and everything before the guy find himself in Ogun State. So even this insecurity is everywhere. It's almost everywhere. It's just that in Lagos here we have money, we are well organized, we can spend money on some security here, so people can pay this and that to have your own personal security. Which those areas they don't have the luxury. They don't. You see people hiring OPC, hiring. You understand what I'm saying now?
Right.
So it's all over the place. It's not that it's in one place. Apart from that, there are so many other ones. You keep talking about this fuel. Look at the president. Look at the amount the president met the fuel. Now you say you took it away from some people because some people are benefiting, but the same minor people are still benefiting. The same minor are still benefiting now. So if you take it away from minor, you give it to some minor. How has that benefited Nigerians? Because the fuel is so high and everything has gone up because of that. Now look at the dollars. It's affecting everything. You want to buy everything.
Okay, the question is the administration of the presidency not seeing things from the lens of the people? Are there sycophants around him who are not really telling him the truth? And if the president believes that he doesn't have sycophants around him and the people who are actually telling him the truth, how come they don't understand? Are they not seeing complaints? Are they not listening to the media? Are they not focusing on? Are they not seeing reactions from Nigerians so far? Who is misinforming the president? Because he reeled out all the achievements of his administration, but what is felt on the street is completely different. Again, it happens to be that the administration is perceived as autocratic. Anybody who makes any dissenting or critical statement about how the administration does things, it feels like you're personally attacking the president or you're attacking the persons from this region. There's no critical analysis to look at issues and be like, okay, in as much as some certain persons may not like the personality of the president, but he is now the president and he needs to replicate democracy across board. So is he not seeing that? While he keeps telling us to be patient, but things seem to be getting worse. So I'm just asking, in a neutral form, is the president not really feeling the pulse of the nation while he was reeling out the achievements of his administration in 2 years?
The main issue, the main angle I'm looking at is this. Well, I told you, in every politician there are two types. There are two of that politician. In every politician.
It was Peter Obi that there are two people.
No, it's not only Peter, it's everybody. It's everybody. When you are a politician or no, if you are vying for a post, there are two types of you.
Okay.
The political aspect of you, administrative aspect of you. If the political aspect of you is greater than the administrative aspect, you are going to be more concerned politically.
Okay.
That is what is going on. Because here we are, the administration is more concerned politically. How we are going to win the second term, how we are going to permutate, we are going to calculate and win the next. That is because the political aspect is more than the administrative aspect. So that is what the administration is busy about, the political aspect, how we are going to, because that is their major focus and that is the major personality of the person. That is that's the area where the person score more points across his political career. Score more points when it comes to political aspects than when it comes to administrative aspect.
Right.
And that is what we're seeing.
Thank you very much. Let me take call 08036929933. Let's get your reaction right about now. We'll take it for a minute. Please focus on the conversation. Do not go outside the topical issues that we discussed here. It's imperative. If you do that, I'm going to cut you off. We will not allow what happened yesterday to happen, so we don't derail the focus of the conversation today. We need to you need to react based on the topics that were discussed today. So if you veer off it, if you try to make any inciting statement, I'll cut you off. All right? So let's try to be civil in our conversations today. The number to call is 08036929933. 08036929933, and the WhatsApp number is 0817175633. 0817175633. That is a WhatsApp number to send your WhatsApp messages to. All right. Hello. Good evening. How are you?
Esther, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening to your guest. in the studio, Mr. Kundari and Mr.
Good evening.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is Mayor from First Act.
All right, Mayor from First Act, please
see,
go ahead.
You see, all this to speak. I don't have, I never listened to that speech. For me, it amounts to wasting of time and energy. I can't go and buy fuel and put in a generator and listen to. Because this same thing Tinubu told us yesterday. He said it 2 years ago. He still said it in the next 2 years. There's nothing inspiring in those speeches. You cannot give what you don't have. Even like one of your guests was saying about the political and the aspect of it. The man is there for politics.
Hello?
So even those speeches he was making yesterday about the APC, about the opposition desire and all that, those things it doesn't mean anything to me. What is after is politics. So it's unfortunate that we're in this quagmire. And what I will always advise the opposition is to work hard. First of all, should work hard and rescue this country. Nigeria can't afford to be in another term of this man. That is the truth. That will be a nightmare. If you dream that just wake up and begin to bind and cast for another 4 years of Tinubu, you begin to bind and cast because it will be terribly terrible. That's the truth.
All right,
so
thank you very
everybody
much.
should come out and work for freedom.
Thank you very much. 08036929933. That's the number to call. Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello, turn down the volume of your radio.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Esther.
Good evening. How are you, ma?
I'm fine, thank you.
Welcome. Please, what's your name?
My name is Stella. I'm calling from Badagry.
Stella from Badagry. Is this your first time?
Yeah, calling you for the first time, but I've called Precious before.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Stella. Thank you for joining us today. Please go ahead.
Yes. I want to talk about Peter Obi.
Okay.
I like the pragmatic step he's taking these days. At least he's speaking out.
Yeah.
We need somebody like him. We need him to come, contest, win the election, and then because we don't have faith again in the present president, the administration of Bola Tinubu.
Hello, go ahead, please.
Peter Obi.
Okay.
All right, that is my little contribution. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Stella, for calling. 08036929933. That's the number to call. 08036929933. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello.
Hi, hello. How are you?
Yeah, Madam Esther, good evening and good evening to your wonderful two guests. I'm Alexo calling.
All right,
Good
go
evening,
ahead,
sir.
sir. Good evening.
Yeah, I just have a prayer for your two guests. God will bless you.
Amen.
You live long, and any evil power against you will be destroyed by the power of God.
Amen.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Jesus'
You said
name.
it all. You said it.
So it's only them you pray for, Abi? Okay.
You're waiting for your birthday now.
Yes, so my birthday is on Sunday.
Hey.
All right, go ahead. Thank you very much. Hello, I can hear you.
Yeah, I said, oh, your own birthday is coming back, so I'll pray for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, see, there's no sacrifice in Tinubu's government. The sacrifice we have are the supporters who believe that he's doing the right thing. You say we all saw what is happening in Rivers. Is that constitutional? They'll tell you, yeah, it is good. He's doing the right thing. If he didn't intervene, look at people that are being killed in Benue every day. You didn't even recognize human beings. You're talking about award and what you've achieved. Well, let them continue. But what I want Nigerians to enforce now is our what they call it, the vote INEC to enforce
electoral
that
reform.
they do the right thing.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Hello. Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, Esther.
Remy,
How you doing?
what's up?
Yes,
How is Akoka today?
Cool.
Welcome. Please go ahead.
Greetings to your guests, Mr. Shupito and Mr. Lawa.
Good evening, sir.
God bless you, Mr.
Please, we should try to recognize or identify psyops when we see one.
Identify
The
what?
that of Kenneth Okonkwo
Okay.
is an example. Look at the timing. This is not the first time.
Hello?
You see.
Remy, please call back. Your network is very poor. All right? Your network is very poor. And call the normal line. You're calling the WhatsApp line. Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Can you turn down the volume of your radio?
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm Adedayola.
Please, what's your name?
Adedayola.
All right, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay. Okay, content. I want I welcome, I greet your guests, Mr. Lawan and Mr. Shegun Shukitan.
Thank you.
Please, this is what I want to contribute. On Kenneth Okonkwo, you can say anything like, if you want to join APC, you should go. Instead of saying that Peter will be disgracing or, like what Peter will be did. So I don't think he has any point there. Can go and join APC or join any party you want. He's just he's not holding any post in the Labour Party. Then concerning River State, Tinubu cannot reinstate Fubara like that. He said she's not suspension. And let us do it after 6 months. Mr. Lawal has said it was that there is no rule of law. If there is any rule of law, they should follow the constitution. They cannot impeach him or give him suspension without following the constitution. So they are not following the constitution in this country again. Everybody is just doing what they like. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling. Thank you. 080-3692-9933. That's the number to call. 080-3692-9933. Remy, I told you to call on normal line. Your WhatsApp connection is poor. But go ahead.
I think it's quite fair now.
Okay.
The last time I asked, what are we going to do if the Yakubu effect repeats itself? We've been advising Obi to do this, to be firm. What are we going to do? I have no issue with the way Obi is going about this.
Hello?
Okay. We are used to this toggery kind of politics. So we expect Obi to appear that way. And Obi is teaching us the way things should be done. I don't have issue with the way he's going about things, the way he talks, the issue he's bringing up. I have no issue with that.
Okay.
What are we, the people, going to do? What are we doing presently? Are we demanding good governance enough? Obi is doing this. He's playing his part. He has come out to say, I'm coming out again. Then are we, the people, ready? What are we going to do? What happened yesterday during the June 12th speech, whatever, was a show of shame. I saw the rendition of the new national anthem. On his mandate, they shall stand. You saw them clapping. An arm of government that should be checkmating the executive, beating their chest, telling us they stood on someone's mandate. Invariably, governance is under the bed. Politics is what they are playing. And these excuses that maybe Tinubu wasn't informed about, he's always informed about politics, but not governance. Look at what he told them, Umaya and what's his name? Wike, that they shouldn't mind their critics. So he heard that. He heard that.
You use the word busybody.
For you to know that he knows what is going on. We shouldn't that maybe he wasn't informed, he doesn't know. He knows everything. Let's not make excuses. Lastly, I said we should try to understand psyops when we see one. They're trying to tell us the loyalists of Obi are running away from him. It's a mess psyop. Valentine, who were there before the election? Kenneth was only known in the movies. Only movies. Obi gave them prominence. All of them. Who was Aburi? And lastly, there was never a time Obi endorsed Aburi. The last time the media team debunked endorsing Aburi. So saying he has endorsed Aburi, I think it's not true. There was never a time he endorsed Aburi. And I love the way he's going about things, though. If they're not okay with it, they should come out. Obi is doing his part.
Thank you very much, Remy. Thank you for calling. All right. Hello, 080-3692-9933. That's the number to call. Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello? All right, 080-3692-9933. That's the number, 080-3692-9933. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, Esther.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Welcome.
This is Matthew.
Matthew.
From Yaba.
All right, Matthew, please go ahead.
This is my first time calling.
Wow, Matthew, welcome. Please go ahead.
Yes, I'm greeting your guest.
All right.
Good evening, sir.
May God help you for your work. Every day you are doing it. But we already know what is happening in Nigeria. We already know. Even the bad and the good. God already know. But our focus for the masses, we know where we are going. I don't know where we are going because I'm from Benue State. We know what is happening in Benue State. Right.
Hello? Oh, the connection. Please call back. Please call back. Hello, good evening. How are you? Turn down the volume of your radio. Please, I beg you. When you want to call, just turn down the volume, okay? Hello, good evening. How are you?
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. What's your name, please?
Festus from Janiki.
All right, Festus. Welcome.
As close to
Greeting to the guests there.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. My little contribution is that this INEC and the other people, that is my fear of the next election. Those two people, they are terrible. They are ready to do anything to rig the election. Please let us try as much as possible to fight those people. We can fight them, we will get the right person to become our president that period.
Okay.
That is my little contribution.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome. 080-3692-9933. That is the number to call. 080-3692-9933. I'm not going to pick a private number, so don't call with a private number. 080-3692-9933. 080-3692-9933. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, sir. What's your name, please?
Tune from Isolo.
All right, please go ahead.
Yeah. I really want to appreciate the guest tonight.
Okay.
At this, where there is no friction and all this kind of sentimental analysis. However, my point is
hello?
For what's it called?
Hello, you're fading. Are you using an earpiece?
Hold on. For Kenneth Okonkwo that you're talking about, let him express his view now about this man. Has he not worked with Obi? Obi is not Mr. Messiah. He's not Jesus. He's not saint. After all, this man that you guys are elevating as if he's the next Jesus Christ of Nigeria, was he not the one that worked with Abacha? Was he not the one that worked with Abacha in Apapa? Abacha that is a tyrant and all this other stuff. What about the case of Pandora Papers and every other allegations against him?
Respond now. Please on there, respond.
Things like that we are just doing as if this thing. Then I want to ask finally, Mr. President did not address us yesterday. He went to National Assembly. Fine, wrong move. I don't know about that. But
wrong move and you don't know about that.
Capacity now, hold on.
Wait, now you said it's a wrong move and you don't know about that. You need to be direct with your train of thought.
No, that's what I'm saying. Hold on. What I'm saying is that for him not to address us at 7 o'clock, I'm not happy with that. But I don't know their reasons or rationale for going to National Assembly. So that's a wrong move for me on his part. But the other one that addressed is, I don't know whether he was addressing his obedience or he was addressing Nigeria. In what capacity is that one talking? I'm talking about Obi himself. Carrying a kind of a Nigerian flag that carries a coat of arms at the background and all those stuff, with those kind of shaky addresses that he was giving. So in what capacity is he addressing Nigeria? Please, I want to know there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, when it comes to addressing Nigeria...
So you were saying something before the address.
No, I said that when he said Peter Obi was there with Abacha, I said the president was also there now. There was a picture when this Pope was there. His picture was at the back. You get it? He was standing at the back of Abacha when Abacha was hosting this Pope.
Okay.
So that is not a big deal. You get what we are saying is the antecedent. Let us look at how you have been doing before. Whether we can entrust you. If you apply for a job, they will tell you experience. You have 2 years experience. You have 1 year. They will ask you, what do you know about this thing before they can give you. He has experience of a good administration. That is Obi in his state.
All right.
That is what many are looking at. That is a sellout.
He talked about, he criticized Peter Obi's address.
The gentleman that just called now can fly a flag behind him, sit in his parlor, put camera, his phone, and record a speech. I don't understand what he's talking about.
No, he's a supporter of the administration.
I understand. So I'm just saying to him that anybody can address
It's not a big
any
deal now.
audience.
Okay.
We're in a democracy.
Okay.
The only thing that person cannot do is to start the address by saying, I am your president.
Okay. Thank you very
It's
much
not a
for that
big deal. Everybody
clarification.
does that every now
Hello,
and
good
then.
evening. How are you? Turn down the volume of your radio. Please, when you call, turn down the volume of your radio. 08036929933. That is the number to call. Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you? Turn down the volume of your radio. I have always told you, please, I will cut you off if you don't do that. Turn down the volume of your radio. 08036929933. Hello, good evening. How are you? The same thing. 08036929933. That is the number to call. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening, sir. What's your name, please?
Good evening. I'm Mr. Modofro from Shibiri in Ojo.
All right, welcome, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Shepita and Mr. Kunda, I agree with you all.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Since yesterday's address to the nation by our president, I've been listening to all media houses since morning, trying to hear one or two people analyzing what our president said yesterday. I don't know if I overheard him or I did not hear him well. There was a place where our president said, I'm not here to make you happy. In that speech yesterday. He said it. He said, I am not here to make you happy.
He said it.
So if our president can tell us that he's not here to make us happy, what are we expecting from him? So since morning, I've been monitoring stations all over the nation since morning. I am nobody. I'm a dropout secondary school person, but I'm elderly. I'm going to 50 by the next 2 years. I've witnessed leaders in this country. I've never had somebody ruling a nation, even African nations, even Mobutu Sese Seko, cannot tell his people that I'm not here to make you happy. Even Paul Biya of Cameroon cannot tell his people that. And somebody is somewhere telling us that he's our president, telling us that he's not here to make us happy. I don't know. I want Mr. Shepito, please. I like your comments sometimes. I want you to deliberate on this issue that I raised now, please. If you had me and heard what our president said yesterday, please stop on it, please. I'm happy.
Please go ahead.
So, when he says, I'm not here to make you happy, I think that is a terrible thing for a president to say. And thank you for pointing that out.
Okay.
God bless you, because I will also go and check it out and listen to it. Look, a president, I think what he meant to say is that he's not in a popularity contest. Do you understand? Like, leadership is not a popularity contest. You don't have to be nice to be a good leader. But you can never say to the people that you are leading that you are not here to make them. What are you here for? You are here to make us happy. You are here to make our lives better. And if our lives are better, we will be happy. So your job is actually to make your citizens happy. So please, if the president said that, I think he must have made a very grievous mistake. I know that the guy sometimes, he speaks outside of his speech. I don't think his speech writers would have put that in his speech. I don't think so. So I think it was probably a slip. You know, his English, his command of English is one kind. You know, even though he speaks for
Hello,
Chicago
good evening.
for
How are you?
Good evening, Adamsa.
How are you, sir?
You know that your name on second name is Adamsa, Sha?
Good evening, sir. Welcome.
So, my name is Moses from Belasa.
All right, welcome, Moses.
I want to ask Kutayo. I don't know because I've not listened to the president, particularly the most award given to society. What about Frank Kokori, the architect of that June 12th? Frank Kokori played best
I think he gave him an award.
He was the Lupet chairman there.
I think he mentioned Kokori.
Yes, his name is there. His name is there. His name is there.
Okay.
But it's there are so many of them.
Okay. We should just look. What I want to say that Nigeria should resolve sharpening one course, how to defeat the people in the next election 2027. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Can I-
08036929933. 08036929933. That's the number. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you? Where are you doing?
Hello, good evening.
Hey, you're on the road. Please go somewhere quiet. That background noise, it's too much. I beg no vex. Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello? Hello? 08036929933. That's the number to call. 08036929933. Hello, good evening. Turn down the volume of your radio. 08036929933. That's the number to call. Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello.
Hello, Esther. Good evening.
Good evening. Who is on the line, please?
Mr. Amadi calling from Egypt.
Mr. Amadi from Egypt. Please, Amadi, please go ahead.
Yeah, God bless you.
God bless you.
Esther, I want to pick on Tinubu's address to Senate because he just mocking Nigerians by telling us that they don't want to see PDP or any other political party's opposition to be in a peaceful thing. So he wants to see them in
he says that. He said he will not help them resolve their problem, but he is happy to experience them go through this disarray.
To see them in disarray.
Yes.
He's happy to see them in disarray. That's his language. So I really doubt that man, whether he means well for this country. He was talking that he is not desire to see one party system.
According to Mr. Akunda, that's his political side speaking. That was his political side speaking.
No, he's not addressing the political parties like that man which you there said. He's addressing Nigerians now. Nothing like a political party is there now. You understand what I mean?
You're very right. You're very right.
He's not supposed to say such a thing in such situation.
All right.
You understand? So I don't know whether that man, because nobody changed them to give accountable the accountability or what, and they still worship. That is why they are making all this noise. Look at the money that we can use to rebuild this thing. Is it the foundation of that Commonwealth this thing or what? That he said. The National International Conference.
Yes, the ICC
Center. Such amount of money. Why the Nigerians are suffering? You see, and he was bold to say it. Nobody is tackling him. Is it good? Is it good? We are talking about democracy, and they are not helping us. People are dying. People are crying. Tinubu don't want to know. He was praising them. Are we moving forward? Are we going back? That is what the American president asked them now. When they were doing campaign, in his own regime and the regime of this one.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, let me read out some messages. I know a lot of messages. I'm going to start on WhatsApp. So, well done for doing a good job. The government is not doing well. Ajide from Ogun State. Until there's electoral reform, we can't go far. Do we really have a leader in Tinubu? I think we only have a confused person as a leader who is just there for the good things of the office. Tinubu is making mockery of Nigeria, nothing to offer but to settle where need be. A shame to a giant of Africa. Chinedu from Badagry. We need urgent electoral reform before it's too late. This is our major problem. Benjamin from Abulegba. Good evening, beautiful people in the studio. Go and listen to the president's speech where he spoke, not reading speech for that particular statement. He was talking to the opposition and politicians, and he said, I'm not here to make you happy politically. This is his exact words. Tunde from Ijegun. All right. So many missed calls. Wow. Good evening, my beloved Esther. Do you know that you're the best? Oh, thank you. You're supposed to get work for CNN. Don't worry. That's the agenda. Thank you very much. I also agree the two brave men in the studio. You're doing well. I want to ask a question, Esther. Why the president never employs all his men the way they bring to studio for advice? Okay, Esther, why the president never employ all these men where they bring for studio every time for advice? You sure government they hear us, especially VOP? Him, you see, president to know the fear. Una get mouth though. Esther, see, they said the truth is bitter. Esther, Mr. President is using old man sense for us, and we give him respect. Come 2027, when an elder no respect himself, children go use and play ball. Okay, Chuku Bende from Aguda. All right, okay, Chuku. Okay. So many missed calls. Good evening, Esther. Thank you very much. My greetings to your guest. My name is Gabriel from Ikorodu. Those who are waiting for President Tinubu to turn our economic fortune around for better will be disappointed. Those waiting for him to fight terrorism will be disappointed. Those waiting for him to improve the lives of the citizens will be disappointed. Those waiting for him to fight corruption, those waiting for him to stabilize. The reason is because I told Nigerians before that Tinubu was sworn in as the president of Nigeria, that he was not coming to Aso Rock for any of these things. All the things we complain against where he came to office to do. This is why we need to reset our minds as a people towards 2027. When they give you money, clothes, shoes, Indomie, tomato, or stockfish, collect it. But the polling booth, vote out poverty, vote out hunger, vote out failure. Esther, let's begin to call on Nigerians to raise their voices on the electoral reforms such that will make rigging impossible for them. That's where they are hinging their hope for retaining their presidency. Okay, well done. Good evening, Esther. Good evening to you too. Hello, good evening, VOP. What would you expect from the President's Democracy Day speech aside from political rhetoric? As leader of a major party, he spoke like a politician. The opposition parties would do well to heed his advice and focus on internal reforms. If they are serious about challenging President Tinubu in the next election, forming a coalition party could be a strategic starting point. Peter Obi still has a significant chance of making a strong impact, which is likely why he's being heavily criticized by pro-Tinubu groups. Mr. Ogumbi from Idimo. All right, Mr. Ogumbi, well done. I love the way Obi is acting now. He's taking a boat presently from Folarin Keshe Olakunle from Surulere, Lagos. Well done. Evening, Esther. My own birthday is on Sunday with my twins. Wow, Chike. Congratulations to us. We're special people. Esther, read my message. The president's speech yesterday was uninspiring. The government has run out of propaganda. That is why they went to the National Assembly where they're standing on his mandate to address him. Rubber Stamp Assembly, John from Ijaniki. President said they should not listen to people like you. He told Senate not to listen to people like you, that they are doing well. Good evening, Esther. About the Fubara issue.
That's a very... Is a busybody.
Good evening, Esther. About the Fubara issue, the president can sack the governor according to Nigeria's constitution, but the president will still follow the same Nigeria constitution to restore him. No amount of reconcile and begin to restore the governor until 6 months has elapsed. Chidi from Oshodi. The person occupying the highest seat in this country is more wicked than he looks on the surface. The only option is to unanimously protest and demand the sack. Let be me and you here, because... Looking at Tinubu yesterday, seeing how old and weak he is, I begin to wonder why this man still chose to chase absolute power and wealth, okay, or over good governance and making Nigeria great even for a day. A man that is almost close to his calm down. Good evening, Esther. I believe that democracy brings about freedom and development to the people, but in our case, democracy means politicians being more stronger, powerful, and earns more money than the FG from the FG, while the people suffer hunger and starvation. For the first time in the history of this nation, nationwide democracy speech was cancelled. This current government literally has no direction. May God save our country. I'm Surveyor Frachibwe Zamaduka from Yaba. All right, well done. Hello, Lady SA Special. Well done for the work. Super Lady of VOP Radio, thank you. I hail your enthusiastic spirit to keep your listeners spellbound. My issue is I don't know the one that is killing me now. You guy, seriously? For real? I beg. Calm down. Okay, thank you. Thank you for all of that. No be toasting. Cannot be toasting on air. Good evening, Esther. Good evening, VOP. Evening, Rush. You mentioned Valentine Ozigbo leaving Peter Obi. Valentine is politically nobody in Anambra State without Peter Obi. I'm from Anambra State. Victor from Ikorodu. Good evening, Esther and the gentlemen in the studio. Kenneth Okonkwo sounds like a floating man who is keeping himself at the level where any interesting party can patronize his services since Labour Party didn't win. Those calling Peter Obi weak shouldn't forget that Jonathan was called weak and we have experienced strong Buhari and Tinubu. We need strong citizens, not radical leaders. And when we enthrone a strong citizen, he will do the bidding of the people who fought for him. From Chief Udo. Okay, Chief Udo, well done. The crisis in Labour Party and PDP is being sponsored by the government. Aburi's Labour Party and those also causing the problem in PDP are heavily paid to this organizer party to create a way for APC. Jerry from Ikeja. Okay, good evening, Esther. Good job. Despite the fact that I do not belong to the same party with your analyst, but he's better than others, Shakabula, who paraded himself as an analyst, Emmanuel. I knew Peter did not have the capacity to govern the highest he can be as a minister. Those that are pushing him are greatest enemies of Nigeria. Oh, wow. Hi, Esther and our distinguished guests. I sincerely think Peter Obi doesn't have a fault in all of this. If anyone does, it's the Nigerian people. If Peter Obi acquires power the regular way, he will have no choice but to govern the regular way. People don't realize that there's a direct correlation between how you obtain power and how you use it. Nigerians, rise and stop casting your responsibilities on one man. He needs you to rise. Thank you all. Thank you. Good evening, Esther and the guest. I wonder how some Nigerians would defend this government that 2 years was not enough to perform any miracle, but the government did not wait till 2 years before wasting our resources. Recently, Nigerians had how this government increased the senators and the House of Reps constituency project allowance from 200 million and 100 million naira respectively to 2 billion and 1 billion naira respectively. So why can't this government endure till when their policies start yielding fruit before making all these huge expenses for themselves? As they usually tell Nigerians to endure. For their information, none of them can take even a kobo to heaven. So this earth is not anybody's last bus stop. Tony from Okota. Good evening, Esther. Tinubu claiming that he has nothing to do about opposition running to his party is a mere talk. What else? If you join APC, your corrupt cases will be struck out? Ralph from Satellite Town. Well done, Ralph. Good evening, Madam Esther, Anko, and Barrister in the studio. There's no Barrister in the studio. My name is Kevin from Oba. I really appreciate the analyst for saying the truth. Former President Buhari declared IPOB a terrorist organization and exonerated Fulani headsmen that they are not terrorists. But today, Katsina State is not at peace because of the attack by the headsmen attack. Many Katsina indigenes have relocated to Niger Republic. My question is it IPOB that pursued them to Niger Republic? APC government is not fair to the South. Is no single Fulani headsman was punished or in jail despite the crime committed by them. Good, all right. Thank you very much for your message. Good evening, Esther. All right. Okay. So many of your calls. Okay. Thank you very much. I think I've read most of your messages. That's a first for me today. Thank you. Let me move on to YouTube. Okay, so from the beginning, Dr. Munachi says, by the way, who is this Kenneth? Is it not media that is giving him relevance? Chinedu Okeze, he is out of his mind. Ude Emmanuel Osi, this Kenneth should go and rest. Ude Emmanuel, we're not hearing. Okay, I think it's been rectified now. Nnamdi Eva, Kenneth Okonkwo sounds so disrespectful to his former boss. Did he hear Peter Obi say he betrayed him before jumping to unguided explanation? Emeka Ekuma, Mr. Kenneth is very right on what he's saying. Emmanuel Igbuna, they should solve this peacefully. Josh says he is about going to APC. Anthony Okumta, Kenneth Okonkwo should go back to the movie industry or to the APC. He has been too loquacious lately. Tojiku Adele, how much could Kenneth Okonkwo have been promised to come with this claim now? Peter Obi should run as vice to Atiku to defeat the machinations of these purveyors. Well done, Ekundaya. His going public is to soil and integrity. Could he have done that without being paid? Onyebuneka, good evening, VOP. Peter Obi is just a threat to all these people. He's not a violent man by nature, and he cannot learn it. If God wants to save this country, he will give us somebody like him. Dano Upang, good evening, Madam Esther, APC woman leader, and your guests. You guys are doing great job. Nigeria's problem are too many. Udoka Mbago, Peter Obi is deceiving himself. Francesca Nwadiano, Kenneth is a disgrace. I too know is his second name. I already know that he is working against Peter Obi from all his utterances. Onyekachi Samuel, nonsense. Okonkwo is not serious. There are more and better people who can fit in. It's a privilege. Let him know it. God will bless Kenneth Okonkwo. Godwin Okwesh, Madam. Oh, I'm not defend. Okay, I think you're referring to others. Charles Duru, Godwin Okwesh. Okay, Adedayo, oh boy, Daily Farotimi was asked to pay millions to Afe Babalola, but Akpabio was asked to pay 100,000. This is the Nigerian law. Adibingpe Florence Akinyemi, Kenneth might as well be working for Tinubu, should come out straight and stop discussing Obi. ECA, I don't understand why politicians refuse to be mature. Chris Rebirth, politics is not run on sentiment. Obi should talk with Atiku. Jovi Ekwunife, great contributions from Remy from Akoka. Always a delight to listen to. He really impresses me as one that can make a good analyst. Little mistakes. The last caller, I hate when people want to use foolishness to prove their ignorance. Selfishness is what will kill these evil people. I love your two guests. They are very interesting to watch. Little mistakes. Matrix cheesy. Mr. Peter Obi isn't money that everyone likes. Haters right on. When good men keep quiet, evil men do as if they are doing final and good. As if what they are doing is final and good. Okay, Esther, this Tinubu and ABC administration is a failure. He has nothing to offer Nigerians. Matthew from Ijegu. Hello, Esther. You guys are trying. Thank you very much. Good evening, Esther and your guest. I agree with Mr. Akundaya on having someone whose administrative ability is more than his political ability, like Peter Obi, Akumi, Ambody, Professor Yemi Oshipacho, and Alex Oti. Those writing speeches for the president should be held accountable for writing speeches that is insensitive, but only those plutocrats will clap hands for him. It's high time electronic voting should be used for the people to vote their conscience. Bro John from Isola, I agree to you trio in the studio. For me, all I want Tinubu to do right now is to vacate that seat immediately and also bring to book himself, INEC Chairman Yeson Wike for prosecution. Master Uchechiku Acolyte from Ejigbo. Good evening. Good evening to you. My name is AA from Akunwajo. Peter Obi supporters should continue with their propaganda and lies. President didn't say he's not here to make people happy. They should allow peace, no vacancy in Asoro come 2027. Do we really have a leader? Okay, I've read this. Good evening, VOP. I like the analogy of Mr. Ekundai. Tinubu is inclined in politics to dirty but poor in administration. That is to say that a political leader is service to self, but an administrative leader is service to the people. Tinubu is a politician but not a good leader. Nigerians, the choice is yours. Chinedu from Oshodi. Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, please. What's your name?
This is Ola from Ojo.
All right, Ola, please go ahead.
Yeah. You see, about Nigerian politics and about the president. And you see, when some people talk, it will look as if maybe they are not even in this country at all. But what I would just like is this, that people should just, because Nigeria are people, because when they easily forget something, they easily forget something. Because when it comes to election now, you say, oh yeah, take 30,000, vote for me. And meanwhile, ignorance worries so many of us. They will be telling you that vote does not count. But when you get to a polling unit and a politician tells you that take 30,000 and vote, so why will you be saying vote does not count? It counts. Are you getting what I'm saying?
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
all right,
thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for calling. All right, we have an avenue for us to invest properly and make money beyond, what we're currently going through in the country. All right, introduce yourself. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Lagosians. Good evening, Nigerians. This is Chichonzi. I've been in VOP radio station for over 3 months now. And I was here yesterday. I was here in the morning. And I'm also reminding my people that this is the time for us to work smart. We should stop working hard. And God has blessed our country with a wonderful social media platform where you can come in, post, people view your post, you are making money instantly without being monetized. And the name of this social media platform is gather.chat, GADA.CHAT. Calm down. I am going to send my link to everybody tomorrow. Our link will be out tomorrow. Before we normally go to the browser, drop the name and start opening it and filling the forms there. But hold on, by tomorrow my link will be out. Then this social media platform has a lot to offer Nigerians. One, we have our share. The share appreciates every day. We started selling these shares 3 months ago. It was 6 naira then. Today, this share is $3. It's amazing. You don't know how much it's going to be in the next 6 months, next 1 year. This is the time to acquire these shares. We also have our digital assets attached to this platform. And this asset has appreciated with more than 3,000 folds since 3 months ago. It's just amazing. And a day before yesterday, we had 487 withdrawals in our Gather social media platform. People were withdrawing. How did they get the money? By posting and people liking their post, commenting. Go to your wallet, your money is dropping there already. So for those that don't know their whereabouts around this social media platform, we have a training tomorrow. training that is coming up by 10 a.m. And this training will take place in our office at Ikeja, 9 Balogu Street, off Kudila Tabiora Way, Ikeja, Lagos. The nearest landmark is Alausa bus stop. Come there tomorrow so that you will be trained on how to use this social media platform, how to buy the digital assets, how to buy the shares. And we train people as well. If you want to be making money daily on our digital platform, you get trained. People do that as well. So we have a lot, over 6 ways you can learn how to make money digitally. That is what we are going to teach tomorrow. So before coming for the training, just send book me to this number. I'm going to drop 2 numbers now. I dropped 2 numbers in the morning. The first one is my personal number. That is 080 375 05737. Send book me to this number if you are ready to work smart, not hard. 080 375 05737, or send book me to this number 081 60 65 3956.
All right, thank you very much. We sincerely do appreciate you coming, and we've run out of time. So we appreciate you. Thank you.
Let me repeat the number one more time.
You have just done that now. You like 3 times. You know, your time has been exhausted. We have adverts to play, please. Thank you very much, Madam Chomsey. What's your final take, Mr. Segun Shukmiton?
I think that the main thing, I like what Remy said, and I think I'd like to ride off that, which is that we have to continue to remind ourselves that at the end of the day, there is no savior anywhere.
Okay.
We're our own saviors. And I would also like to drop this for certain tendencies to understand that Mr. Peter Obi is not a messiah.
Okay.
And he has his own human failings. You know, I can list 1 or 2 or 3 of things that I see about him that I don't like.
Okay.
You know, he's not a messiah. It is just that, you know, if some people look at him and they see a semblance of what they think Nigeria needs at this point. But I get a bit uncomfortable when I hear people talking as if he's Jesus Christ and is the best thing since sliced bread. I think we need to disabuse our minds and remember that we are the ones that will make Nigeria work by our agitation, by our voice, by our protest, by everything that we need to do as citizens to force the politicians' hands to do the things that we need. I'll drop it there.
All right, Mr. Lawyer Kundara, please, very
my
briefly.
own is just that I want to advise our administrator that next time, please, when you are giving an award, please consider other areas such as education. People have done very, very well in education. Just don't focus everything on politics. you don't talk. There's no award for education or educators who have done very well. There's no way in sport, none. In agriculture, none. In science and technology, none. Even in police force, in defense, you get in policing. Even somebody, that man on the road passing traffic every now and then. Yes, some of them are so good in the sun. So the people deserve our award is for people who are standing in their various areas. People who are standing, not just people who are pick and say whether it's my party and things like that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lawal Ekundai, Mr. Segun Shokpita. I love you guys. Thank you so much for actually giving us your own intellectual input to the conversation today. It was quite amazing and in-depth. I sincerely do appreciate you. Mr. Segun, we have a date next week.
Somebody toasted you. You told
Don't
me,
mind-
no,
don't-
When we date
no,
next
now you
week.
are- you want to
Don't
tell
mind that.
somebody
Next
else.
week
Don't
on
mind
this
that.
platform.
Okay, I think you should
Happy
call him.
birthday,
Let
now.
that guy
Thank you very
call
much.
you.
Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your weekend. I'll see you on the political spotlight on Sunday evening. Obviously, my birthday. Please make sure that you're able to share love wherever you are for me. Please share love, give. Where that's basically what I want. Just share love and give. That's what I want you to do. All right. Have yourself a wonderful evening. See you on Sunday and bye for now.